Hi minasan, welcome back to Shogun History. Today I thought it would be very apt to look at the upcoming Shogun series due to be released on Disney Plus later this month. I will be doing a full historic review after its entire release, but I'm so excited by this project, as it is my namesake of course. So for now, we'll look at what we can see in the trailer and I'll give you an overview of the source text, which is James Clavell's novel of the same name, and of course some historical tidbits of this period in history. James Clavell's first novel in his Asia series is based upon one of the biggest historical figures in Japanese history, Tokugawa Ieyasu, a man who fought and rose to become shogun in the late 16th, early 17th century, known as the Edo period, Edo being the city we now know today as Tokyo. The story is told through the eyes of an English pilot who was shipwrecked on the islands of Japan. This character is loosely based on the exploits of William Adams, who also was a pilot that shipwrecked off the coast of Japan and would eventually become an advisor to Ieyasu. Lots more on him in the upcoming full review. This is one of my favourite novels of all time. Extremely well researched, taking the reader into the depths of feudal Japan, leaving no stone unturned. I strongly recommend giving this a read. It is a work of fiction, but the world in which the story is set is completely and unapologetically accurate to the time period. Right, onto the trailer, and in the first 4 seconds, we are already off to a good start. The costumes we see here look impeccable. The samurai in full armor look so menacing and powerful, and the beautifully designed kimonos shows me already that the creators have not cut any corners in this production. These dresses were hugely important in the Edo period. Made from silk, imported from China, kimonos would be worn every day as the silk would keep you warm in the winter and cool in the summer. From seeing the quick cuts of the samurai armies, I sincerely hope we're going to see some exciting battle scenes, which unfortunately are not present in the book. I think this period in history has been largely missed by Hollywood. We had The Last Samurai, of course, and believe me, I loved that film, but it's set nearly 300 years after the time period of Shogun, and when the samurai class were on the decline. This era, which is the height of samurai power, is one of the most brutal and cutthroat periods of time that took place anywhere in the feudal world. The samurai, or Bushido class of this time, were totalitarian and unforgiving even amongst each other. Often the samurai class were judge, jury and executioner to every normal citizen. The culture and customs of Japan during this time is often misunderstood, and it's this reason I loved the book so much, because it opened the curtains on the harsh reality of both the high and low classes in Edo, Japan.
Do not be fooled by our politeness. Our bows are made of rituals. Death is in our air.
What she says here is very interesting. Japan still being widely known for its politeness and social responsibility. In Shogun's world, these obligations are dialed up to the max. Death was an everyday experience for all classes. The samurais themselves could face an order of ritual suicide from their superior for the mildest of infractions. You may know this barbaric custom as seppuku, and again, we will explore this much deeper in the full review. For the most part, this was considered a fortunate and even honourable way to die, and in the same breath, each samurai could end the life of someone in their service, or even someone in the street, for real or perceived offence, and without the need for consideration of anything or anyone else.
There's a saying out here, every man has 3 hearts. One in his mouth for the world to know. Another in his chest, just for his friends. And a secret heart, buried deep.
I love this line. Excellent and a perfect reference to the novel. This philosophy of thought is not from the Japanese, but actually originates from a Portuguese missionary in the 16th century. The Japanese people are so crafty in their hearts that nobody can understand them, whence it is said that they have 3 hearts, a false one in their mouths for the world to see, and another within their breasts, only for their friends, and the third in the depths of their heart, reserved for themselves alone and never manifested to anybody. The Japanese to this day practice a similar culture, placing importance on outward demeanor versus inner feelings, known in Japan simply as hone and tatamae. The word hone means inner feelings and tatamae meaning outward presentation. In reality, we all do this to a certain degree. No one acts the same at home with their family as they do at work or in other contexts, but it is intrinsically ingrained into the Japanese psyche and the product of their rich history. The very name samurai literally translates as to serve, and the Bushido Code has its foundations in honor and respect. I gotta say, all the shots we see look incredible, but I do have a slight concern. It's also my main criticism with the book, as it spends a long time creating and nurturing a love story. One that, if I'm honest, does drag a bit and I don't think is really necessary. This is also often my main criticism for most Hollywood films. I think characters can have an impetus and desire without the need to lean on romance. In my opinion, it's just lazy writing, and that's probably the only thing I'm worried about when it comes to this upcoming series. Of course, I know there's plenty of you that enjoy the romance subplots, but being a history nerd, I want to be caught up in the battles and the fighting, the politics, and the deceptive skullduggery. There is more to what drives people in extreme circumstances than love. And having such a rich backdrop of an era of history untouched by the mainstream media, I hope that the focus is on bringing that world to life, but that's just my take. Overall, I cannot wait to watch this. I rarely get excited by new releases, but this one obviously is approaching a part of history that is dear to my heart. We will have to wait until the end of the month to see the final product, and I hope to get the full review of the show, the history of the Edo period, and point out where the series gets it right as soon as I can. If you're watching this, you have pleased the Shogun. Please help him grow his empire by liking and subscribing. じゃあ皆さん、次回も楽しみにしてね。気をつけてね。さようなら。